Does Jinbei already have Conquerors Hockey? I say this because there's a moment in the anime that makes it look like he does have it. In episode 1012, when he first meets Who's Who, there's a moment where we can see red lines come off of him, and they actually do affect gifters. Now, they don't knock them out, but you can see them stumble because of it. And at this point, Luffy had already run off, so you can't say it was Luffy's hockey. And now I'm just unsure. I looked it up on Google, and everybody seems confused about it as well. I did find a Reddit post of someone agreeing with me, saying Jinbei does have Conquerors Hockey, but then there were several people refuting that, saying it was just advanced armament. However, in this episode, there was definitely a Conquerors Hockey noise, and you could visually see it. I think this is very confusing because why not just state it if Jinbei does have Conquerors? But also, since it hasn't been stated, what is this hockey in this video? Many people skip One Piece filler when watching the series, but I think there is some filler you should watch, and I'll tell you what that is in this video. First, the obvious answer is the G8 filler arc. This is 11 episodes right after the Skypiea arc, and it is very good. You won't even realize you're watching filler at first. Another one is the Ocean's Dream arc. This is a short 5-episode arc after Long Ring Long Land, and it's very interesting. Somebody steals all of the Straw Hats' memories, and Zoro and Luffy end up dueling each other. And lastly, episode 384. This is a pretty simple episode that just shows the Straw Hats' daily life on the ship, and it mainly highlights Brook trying to find his role as a new member of the Straw Hats. It's very chill and laid back, but in my opinion, a very good episode. A devil fruit that I believe will make a comeback in the One Piece story is the Nagi no Me, eaten by Rosinante. Rosinante was Doflamingo's brother who had the power of this devil fruit, and it allows the user to make a soundproof field, basically canceling out all noises. I fully believe that we will see this devil fruit in use again, and my theory is that somebody on the Blackbeard pirate crew will end up having this power. Blackbeard is known for sneaking around, and several of his crew members already have deceptive devil fruits, like Shiryu's invisibility or Devon's mythical Zoan fruit, so getting this silent devil fruit will make the Blackbeard pirates have sneak 100. In One Piece, for a character to die, it takes a lot of effort. For example, if you remember Pell in Alabasta, the guy flew a giant bomb into the air and is still alive to tell the tale. So with this being said, one of the deaths in One Piece that doesn't make sense is Kuina, who apparently fell down some stairs. This death has never sat right with me, and I think there's something more to the story, because dying from falling down some stairs in a show like One Piece is crazy. I have a feeling there's more information about that story. How much longer does Luffy have left to live? It has been mentioned several times in the story that Luffy has shortened his lifespan. Now in One Piece, a human can live up to 140 years old, but even then, we know in Enies lobby when Luffy first used Gear 2, Lucci said by Luffy raising his blood pressure, he's surely to shorten his lifespan, and we've seen how many times he has used Gear 2 after that. Not only that, in both Impel Down and Marineford, when Ivankov had to alter Luffy's hormones, he stated that this would most likely take 10 years off of Luffy's life. And then you have to assume if Gear 2 shortens his lifespan, Gear 3, 4, and even 5 do as well. So with all of this being said, do you think Luffy has taken off 20 or more years of his lifespan? Magellan got one of the biggest nerfs in One Piece, probably because Oda realized his devil fruit was way too overpowered. His devil fruit is the Doku no Me, which allows him to create and control poison, which is insane. He could poison practically anybody, because even armament hockey won't stop it unless you can cover your entire body with it. So because this devil fruit is so overpowered, Oda made Magellan have excessive diarrhea, causing him to spend approximately 10 hours a day on the toilet. If Magellan didn't have to do that and had hockey, he would legitimately be a top 10 character in the verse. If there's one thing you haven't noticed about One Piece, it's that Oda loves to troll the fan base. And perhaps the biggest troll of them all had something to do with Sanji. Now you might have an idea of what I'm talking about, and this troll started with Sanji's original bounty. Yeah, the one that looked like this. That's where most One Piece fans thought the troll would end. It was just a really bad and funny picture of Sanji. But no, Oda took it to another level. It turns out this image of Sanji that we thought was fake was actually a real person, and we get to see them make an appearance in the One Piece story, and overall it was just one big huge troll by Oda. Many people forget that Luffy almost died on Jaya, and I'm not talking about the fight with Bellamy. While that was a very good fight, I'm talking about when the Straw Hats first arrived to the island. We learned that Blackbeard's crew is on the island, which at this point is only 4 members, but Luffy, Zoro, and Nami actually meet Doc Q, who offers Luffy some apples, and of course, Luffy being Luffy eats the apple. It's only after he eats the apple that Doc Q reveals he had a 50-50 chance of living or dying. Did you remember this time that Luffy almost died? A One Piece character that is written so well but is overlooked is Baby 5, who was a part of Doflamingo's crew. And Baby 5 has an issue where she can't say no to anybody, and this is because she was abandoned as a child by her parents. She believes she was abandoned because her parents thought she was useless, so she became obsessed with the idea of being useful, and this has caused her to say yes to 8 different fiancés and also gain over 98 million berries in debt, and she's just very emotional because of that trauma she experienced as a child. But her character is so unique week, and I'm glad she's finally happy with Sai. Here is the strangest devil fruit in One Piece. But first, let me state some honorable mentions. The Berry No Me, which was this random marine. The Jacket fruit, which is just weird and unsettling. But in my opinion, one of the strangest devil fruits in the series is the Tama no Me. This is a Zoan type devil fruit eaten by Baron Tamago. And this fruit is different from other Zoans because it doesn't allow him to willingly transform. Instead, he has the 3 different forms of a chicken. First is the egg, but then once that egg gets cracked, there's a yolk, which then evolves into a yellow chicken. And lastly, his final form is just a big white rooster. This devil fruit is definitely strange. Do you remember when Luffy's straw hat got destroyed? It happened at the very beginning of the show when Luffy was fighting Buggy. Using his chop abilities, Buggy puts 3 big holes in the top of the straw hat. That was in episode 8. Fast forward to episode 935. There's a scene of Luffy and his straw hat, and you can see there's 3 tiny little scars. Now, if you remember, Nami did fix his hat, so that's why the scars are hardly visible, but it is insane the level of detail the animators put into the show. Have you noticed that Buggy's crew is a symbol of One Piece? And what I mean by this is that famous line right at the beginning of the show where the narrator says, "Wealth, fame, power." Buggy's crew has the symbolization of wealth, fame, and power. First, wealth with crocodile, and then Buggy represents fame because he's one of the most famous pirates. He is a Yonko. And then, of course, power is Mihawk because he's the world's strongest swordsman. Whether or not this was intentional, I don't know, but it is Oda after all, so it probably was intentional. The only reason the Straw Hats made it out of Whole Cake Island alive is because of Brûlée. Her Devil Fruit ability with the Mira no Me allowed the Straw Hats to basically sneak around the castle whenever they wanted. And that's because her Devil Fruit has an ability to go into the mirror world. So once Brûlée was captured by the Straw Hats, they could use her to enter throughout the mirror world whenever they wanted. And this was absolutely clutch for certain situations, like saving Brook from Big Mom or allowing Pedro to escape from Baron Tamago. Overall, Brûlée's Devil Fruit might be one of the worst ones because it can be used against you so easily. Do you remember when Sanji made the first helicopter in One Piece? You probably do. It wasn't that long ago in the anime. It was episode 1036 when Sanji kicked the absolute crap out of Queen, causing his neck to spin in a circle so fast that he shielded everybody from Perospero's arrows and literally started flying. That is some serious firepower behind Sanji's kick, and it's impressive because he did that while holding Zoro in one arm. The Straw Hat crew's biggest power-up has not been seen yet, but has been foreshadowed. And what I'm talking about is a weapon that combines all of the Straw Hat's powers, and it goes by the name Pirate Docking 6 Giant Robot Big Emperor. Yes, I know, a very long name. We saw the Straw Hats try to do this in Thriller Bark, and it looks pretty cool. It combines a bunch of different Straw Hats, except Robin refused to do it at this time. So once they finally get Robin on board, this might be the best weapon the Straw Hats have. I have a full video where I give all of the Straw Hats their next big power-up. Go check it out. One of the most interesting devil fruits in One Piece is the Shiro No Me. This is a Paramecia type devil fruit that allows the user to become a living fortress. So basically, it makes them a castle human. This was eaten by Capone Beji, and he uses the fruit very well. Inside of his body, he can hold cannons, have drawbridges, and even have different rooms. As we saw on Whole Cake Island, he had an entire meeting with the Straw Hats in his own body. This devil fruit literally makes him a one-man army because he is just one man, but he can hide an entire army inside of him. We even saw Beji turn into a life-size castle. This devil fruit is very cool and has a lot of different uses. I truly believe that Arlong was never evil, he was just broken. I know he did so many evil things to Nami and her village, and we can't just forget about them, but his backstory really helps us understand why he turned out that way. We know as a young child he was abused by humans, and as a young kid you are easily impressionable, and if humans are bad to you while you're young, you're going to grow to resent them. And on top of this, he joined Fisher Tiger's crew when he was just 15 years old, still a young kid. So to see Fisher Tiger, somebody Arlong probably saw as a father figure, end up getting killed and betrayed by humans was the last straw and solidified his hatred towards the human race. In the end, he wasn't an evil villain, he was just raised to resent humans because of the actions of other humans.